I've decided that this crown is quite suitable. So what I'm planning to do, I'm going to just start by tidying off the bottom edge so that I've got a nice visible edge to cut from, or to fold from, I should say. And take your time with this, it's worth getting right. Beautiful. Now, finding the centre front and just putting those two edges there, the bottom edges together, and squeeze that, and then just squeeze that line, that whole line up to the centre front, because we don't want to have that crooked because that'll affect the shape of the pattern. Now you can see here, if I keep those two edges together, I have to select which side is a better side, and I didn't do that while it was on, but I'm not a big fan of this drop away, so I'm thinking that this is the better side. So I'm going to put a little smile on that, and then I'm going to cut it neatly at the centre front, and I'm going to just put a little arrow in there and say that's the CF, just so that I know, and snip down the front and snip down the back, and that's our good side. So I've already taken a piece of pattern paper here and I've folded that so that I've got that whole wide bit, and with my centre front I'm going to put that onto the fold. Now if you've got a couple of little heavy things that you can sit on top of that just to stop it from slipping about. Here we go, bit of this, and the first thing you need to do is just get a rough tracing around there. So up the back, along the underside, and then around the top. Now, taking that away, this little baby's now served its purpose, so goodbye to that. You can see that line is not quite straight. It's fairly close to straight, but not quite. Oh, you can't see the line because it's a little bit faint. Okay, I might go use a darker pencil if I can see it, but for the purposes of the video, you need to see it as well. So let's just get that right. Okay, so I've got a 6B pencil here, and what I can do now is I can just do that, trace that curve. It's a very gentle curve, but a curve nonetheless, and hopefully this time you can see it. And the first thing I want to do now is I want to get a measurement of how long that is, because I need this distance from here to here to be 30 centimetres before I do anything else, because my adjusted head measurement is going to be 60 centimetres. Now it's a fairly straight line, so not a lot could possibly go wrong here. So there's 10, just do a little mark at 10, there's 20, and that is 28.5, and I need it to come out to 30. So I'm just going to continue that line out to 30, and what I've got here is my centre back line, and running parallel to that, I want to just go up, and I can see through the grid on this ruler. So that's going up to there, and the next thing I need to do is just tidy up this top. So I'm just going to do a sort of a sketchy line along there, and if you want to, you can actually do a few measurements. Remember I said I thought I'd like mine to be around about 10 centimetres tall. Well, it's actually taller than 10, so I'm going to bring it down to 10. So just marking off that 10 there. Put as many marks as you think you need to see. And remember, we haven't even thought about seam allowances yet. We're just doing the actual shape that we want. And we're going to have it all the way along. and you can join the dots here now. Now one hopes that you can actually see this now. So that is now 30 centimetres or 60 centimetres, which is the adjusted measurement. We've shifted that top line down a fraction. I've got a little rubber here so I can get rid of any messy lines or any marks that aren't part of my pattern plan. And then I can add the seam allowance. Remember, whenever you're talking about seam allowance, do not talk about it as a centimetre, even though that is what it is. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the best way to see this line. There we go. Just remember that you measure, you do all your measurements, and then when you've finished, you add your seam allowance. And if you do it that way, then hopefully you will never have a problem where there's a centimetre that's doing the wrong thing. I think that's the secret to clear thinking when you're talking about your pattern. So this one is quite simple and fairly similar to a cylinder, which some people might prefer, but you know how to do that. You've just got to make sure that you get a nice, neat, clean line. And then when you're cutting this out, I recommend that you, there we go, that's looking pretty good, just pop a couple of pins in through both layers so that when you're cutting, you've got no slippage between the two of them, the two sides. So there we go. And that is ready to cut out and mark up. Now while I'm in conversation with you, I'll tell you that the next video will be how to make the tip, and we have some very sneaky and very good quality shortcuts to get that done as well. So in fact sometimes the measurement of your collar is the perfect measurement for the tip, but we've just got to make sure of that. There we go. Now what are we talking? We're going to call this, I'm calling this by my name. So this is called Serena, and we're calling this the sideband of the bucket hat. And this is going to be, well, according to the brim, we've got it 1 of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, if we make a band, it's going to be 4 pieces. So we'll say this is 2 of 4. And we're going to say cut 1 outer. And we're going to also cut 1 lining. And it's going to be on the cross at the centre front, so we're going to just do an X there so that you remember you position it diagonally on your paper. And we haven't put the date, but it's August 2020. Never forget August 2020, will we? So I'm just going to put that on here as well. And that way, if any bits go wandering off. Oh, and I did put the head measurement, 60 adjusted. And I'm actually giving a 2 centimetres ease, so this will be 58 head fit. Just put whatever information you feel that you need. 58 head fit. So that's ready to go. You can pop that aside and you're ready to do the tip.